In today's video, we're going to be creating this corporate PowerPoint presentation template. Okay, without wasting much time, let's get right to it. I already have PowerPoint open, so I'm just going to close all of this. I'm already in the Insert tab. I'm just going to go to Pictures and we're going to go to Stock Images and we're going to insert an image. We're not going to search for any specific image. We don't need to. We're just going to scroll down and we're going to select this image and we're going to go ahead and insert it. Now that our image has downloaded, I'm just going to change a few details. First, let's go to the width and we'll change it to 13.5, and I'm going to move it to this edge. Now go to crop, and this handle here, just move it down, and then go back to the crop, select fill, and just move this till we'll have, let's say, something like this or thereabout, and I'm just going to close that. Now let's insert a shape. I'm going to go to shapes, rectangle, and I'm just going to right around here just insert a rectangle. Remove the outline and go to fill, select this middle gray color, and I'm just going to use that. Change the height to 5.75 and the width is going to be 26.5. Now let's just center that here. Now let's go to shape effects, shadow, and use the first option here. Let's go to insert text box, and maybe I should just copy it. So we're going to copy this text, which is just corporate, and I'm just going to draw this text box and paste. Select the text box and we're going to change the font. It's going to be Montserrat semi-bold. Size is going to be 88, and let me extend this a bit. Color is going to be white, and let's just center that and give it a bit of space. Let me see, like around like here. Now let's change the alignment to right. Just select the text box, hold Ctrl and Shift to create a copy. Now let the top of this text box be touching the bottom of that rectangle, and we're just going to close that. Change the color of this text to black and then change the size to 48, and you can just maybe reduce the length of it. And I'm going to go back to my notes and copy presentation, select everything here and paste. Need a bit more space, and yeah, that's it for this title slide. Let's look at it a bit in the slideshow. Yeah, that's it. We're done with the title slide. Let's now move on to the next slide. So go to new slide and insert a blank slide. Let's start with a shape. Go to shapes, select a rectangle, and we're just going to draw one across our slide at the bottom here. Remove the outline and we're going to change the gray to the color to that gray color. Let's change the height to 8.2, and I'm going to move this up. Now let's duplicate this rectangle. I'm just going to hold Ctrl and I'm going to create a copy. Now let's change the fill of this rectangle to white. We'll go to shape effects and we'll go to shadow and you use this center. Let's see the shadow. We're going to go to shadow options, make the transparency 45%, the size is going to be 100, blur is going to be 10 points, and the color is going to be the same gray color. Now let's change the dimensions. We'll change the height to 16 and the width is going to be 31, and we'll just go ahead and center this in our slide. Go to insert text box and I'm going to copy the title for this one, which is about us, and I'm going to paste it here. Select the entire text box. We're going to use our heading text, which is Montserrat semi-bold. Change the size to 44, and yeah, we'll just leave this here for now. Probably we'll move it around. I'm just going to create a copy of this one so we can reuse the text box. Use Aptos display as the font for this one, and the size is going to be 24. That's Aptos display headings. I'm going to go ahead and grab my text, and I'm going to copy that. Come back here, select everything and paste. Now let's increase the width of this till we have our text on 6 lines, and I'm just going to perhaps center this, and we have this kind of I think PowerPoint is kind of making sense of the spacing for everything, and I'm just going to leave it there. I'm just going to bring this one so that it aligns to this. And yeah, we're done with this slide. Let's take a moment to look at it in the slideshow, and yeah, that's it. Let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. So I'm just going to create a new slide. I'm going to go back to my first slide and copy this image. Go back to our current slide and paste it. Let's go to shape format, go to height and make the height 8 and move it down here. Now go to crop and move this handle all the way to the end of the slide, and then select fill. I'm going to move it down till I have this. Escape. Let's insert our title for this slide. I'm going to go to insert text box, and I'm going to scroll down. This is mission. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to come here and paste. Let's change the font to Montserrat semi-bold, and the size is going to be 44. And I'm just maybe move it a little bit to this side. We'll probably move it around when we're done, but for now let's just leave it there. Now go to shapes, rectangle, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle here. Set this to no outline, change the fill to white, and we're going to add an effect. We're going to use shadow center. Let's go back to shape effects, shadow, and we'll go to shadow options. Transparency is going to be 45%. Size is going to be 100. Blur is going to be 10 points, and the color is going to be that gray color. And let's change the dimension. So the width is going to be 8.7. No, the height is going to be 12.75, and the width is going to be 8.7. And let's just have this around here. I'm just going to grab a copy of this text box using control and bring in a copy of this. Change the text to 01. I'm just going to reduce this while giving a bit of space, because we're going to reuse it for the other cards that are going to be here. And I can just go ahead and create a copy of this as well. We're going to go to our text, copy this, and I'm going to paste it here. No worries, we'll just format it. Maybe I should have done that before I pasted in my text. I'll go to home, change this to Aptos, and this time the size is going to be 18. Increase the width till we have this, and I'm just going to move this down a bit. And yeah, I'm quite pleased with what we have. Let me just make sure that at least we have some sense to our spacing. Can just first of all group to just make the spacing equal. Select the rectangle, go to arrange, align middle, and we can ungroup this. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to ungroup. Now you can select the rectangle now, and then you can use Ctrl G to group it again. Next, select this card, if we call it that, make one more copy and create another copy. Change this one to 2 and change this one to 3. And I'm just going to move this around to see if I have equal spacing between the two, and yes, we have equal spacing. Just in case you're not sure, select all three, arrange, align, and distribute horizontally, and that's it. Maybe let me try moving this, make sure it's aligned, and I'll just use my arrow key to kind of bring it down a bit. So let's go to our slideshow. Yeah, that's it. We're done with the mission slide. Let's move on to the next slide. So let's create a new slide. Let's start with a rectangle. I'm just going to go to shapes and I'm going to insert this. Remove the outline and change the fill to that gray color and move it all the way to the left. Increase the height so it covers the entire height of our slide. The width is going to be 8.5. Next, let's insert our heading for a title for this slide, which is going to be our services. I'm just going to copy that, and somewhere around here for now we're just going to paste this and change the font to Montserrat semi-bold. Size is going to be 44. Now let's just move this right around here. We may still have to move it depending on how things go. I'll just change the alignment to right. Now, instead of creating a new rectangle, let's just duplicate this one. So holding Control, and I'm just going to create another copy of this. Let's go to shape format, change the height of this rectangle to 5.9, and the width is going to be 30. I'm just going to bring it centered around here and change the fill to white. Go to shape effect, shadow, make the shadow the offset center, and we're also going to go back to shape effects, shadow, and shadow options. Go to transparency 45, size 100%. The blur is going to be 10 points and the color is going to be the gray color. Now I'm just going to reuse this text box and I'm going to bring in a copy using while holding Control and just bring in a copy here. Let's go back to home, change the size of this to 60, and we're going to write 01 here. This time we can make the alignment left, and I'm just going to reduce, let me increase it a bit because we're going to reuse it for the other one. So while we have this, let's say around here, what we can do now is just hold Control to create another copy. For this one, this will be aptos, size is going to be 18. Let's go back to our text. Let's grab the text for services and I'm going to paste it here. Just going to increase the width so everything is on 3 lines, and I can move this to kind of space everything properly, and PowerPoint is indicating that this is fine. I'm just going to center it. Then the alignment will just let's make it center like this. So now we have these 3 elements. We can select all 3 of them and group, and Control and Shift, select and then drag, and we're going to have this. We can come here and make this 2. Now I'm just going to select this one, just move them, let's see, up to right around here, and this one we're just going to make sure it's aligned to the edge of this, any of these 2 groups. So yeah, that's it. Let's look at it in the slideshow. Yeah, we're done with the services slide. Let's move on to the next slide. So go to new slide and we're just going to create a new slide. Go to insert and text box. let's go to our notes, and we're going to copy the title for this slide, which is our performance, and I'm just going to somewhere around here just paste it. Now select this, and we're going to change this to Montserrat semi-bold. Size is going to be 44. Let's increase the width of this, and I'm just going to move it. Oops, I wanted to move it. I'm going to move it, let's see, around here, and I'm going to go ahead and insert a chart. So go to insert, and we're going to select chart, and we're going to insert this first one. No need to make any changes, we're just going to leave it as it is. So close this, go to format. The height is going to be 9.5 and the width is going to be 13.75. If you want to add the background, you can go ahead and do that, but I'm just going to leave it like this and just have this around here. So let me just create a copy of this. Let's change this to actor's body. Size of the font is going to be 18, and this time let's change the width of the text box, which is going to be 13.75 to match the width of our chart. Let's go and grab our text, copy this. Once again, you just need to Google it or just ask any chatbot you use to just generate Lorem ipsum text for you. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to select everything there and then paste. I'm just going to move this so that we can have equal spacing between these two, and I'm going to change the alignment of this text to center. I'm just trying to figure out if I like the spacing. Maybe I'll just move it a bit, and maybe move this one maybe a little bit to the side. Now I'm going to select this text, and I want to add one final detail just to make it more interesting. Let's go to the shape format, and we're going to select outline, and we're going to give it that gray color outline. Simple like that. So just to make sure, I'm going to select the chart and this text, go to arrange, align middle, just in case. Yeah, we're done with this chart. We can go ahead and look at it in the slideshow, and yeah, that's it. That's the performance slide. Let's move on to the next slide. So go ahead and create a new slide, and we're going to start with our title. Go to insert text box, I'm going to scroll down, and we have our portfolio. I'm just going to copy that and just draw a text box here and paste. Now I'm going to change this to Montserrat semi-bold, and the size is going to be 44. Let's increase the width so it will fit. Now I'll just kind of move it around. Let's insert some images. So go to insert pictures, stock images, and we'll just search meeting, and we're just going to pick a few images. So I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to scroll down, and let's see, maybe we could choose, let's see, this, and finally just pick any images you want to use. Let me pick this one. It's just generic images I want to use, so I'll just give that a moment to download. Let's now change the dimensions of these images. Let me just reduce them for now so we can have a bit more space to work with. Let me start with, let's see, this image. I'm going to change the height to 9, and for the width we're going to just have to figure that out. The width, I'm trying to go for something within, let's say, the 8.5 range, and I have 8.06. I want to go for, okay, I want to have something close to or around 8.5, so I have 8.54. I'm just going to leave it like that, and I'm going to kind of move this image around so that I can have some focus on something, and I'm going to click on escape, and I have this. Now we can do the same for these two other images. So let's start with this one. Just change the height to 9, And now it's going to be easier because PowerPoint is going to try and match the width to the one we've already done. And just move it till we have some focus on the individuals in the image. And we're going to do the same for this one. Change the height to 9. And once again, crop. Reduce this till PowerPoint indicates that the image is the same width with the other one. And then move this to refocus. Now I'm just going to align these 3 images so we can have all of them. Let me just use align. So I'm going to go to align middle. Yeah. Now let's insert. Don't worry about the spacing. We're going to do that when we're done. Let me go to shapes, rectangle, and I'm just going to have a rectangle here. We're going to set this to no outline, change the fill to that gray color, and I'm just going to move this. Let me check. Okay, the width is currently 8.54, which is the same with the image, which the width is also 8.54. Let's change the height to 5. I'm going to move all of them. Remember, they are all aligned. So I'm just going to move this up to give myself some space to work with. We'll still move everything around when we're done. So I'm going to grab this text instead of creating a new one. We're just going to grab this, change the size to 24, and change the color to white, and bring this in. Let's reduce the width of this text box, and then change the alignment to center. You know what, let's make it the same width with our rectangle because we'll need the text box again. So I'm just going to increase it. Now that we have this, I'm going to create a copy of it. So Control and Shift. So it's going to be aligned when we do that. And I'm going to change this to Aptos body. Size is going to be 16. Now we can go and grab our text for our portfolio, and I'm going to copy it and paste it, and from our notes you can see that this is going to be project 01. And yeah, we have this. I'm just going to select all 3 and Control and Shift, and I'm going to create another copy, and this is going to be 02, and this is going to be 03. Now we can select all of this group. I'm going to also select everything in this middle one, group, and finally this one on the right, group. Now let's try and center everything. I'm just going to move this title a bit so I can, let me see, figure out some sort of spacing that works for our project. I'm just going to have this here, move these 2 together. Now I want to make sure that the spacing between this one on the right is the same with the one on the left, and that's what we have. Select this tree, go to arrange, go to align, and distribute horizontally. Let me move this one so it's aligned with the one on the left. All right, that's it. Let's see it in the slideshow, and we're done with the portfolio slide. What we're going to do next is create another version of this our portfolio slide. So when I'm creating templates like this, maybe for a client or even for a project, I will sometimes create multiple versions of the same slide if I have like 2 different ideas for the same thing. So it's a good idea to do sometimes. You don't have to create one version of a particular slide. You can create multiple versions, and that's what we're going to do. So just select that slide, Control D to duplicate, and we have another copy of this slide. So I'll just move this 2 slides closer, and I'm just going to have these cards together, and we can just work on them. So let's start with this one. I'm going to ungroup it, and this image, I'm going to select this image and then go to picture formats go to crop, and I'm going to reduce this till I have I'm trying to go for a perfect square. Probably won't happen, but it just comes with working with PowerPoint. You can insert a rectangle in exactly the same dimensions you want and then fit it, but currently it's not letting me do that. I'm just going to leave it like that. It's 8.15 by 8.54. If you want to have a perfect rectangle, you can go ahead and try that, but I'm just going to leave it like this. So I'm going to reduce this so that the focus will be on this image, and okay, I have this escape. Next, we're going to do the same for these two. I'm going to ungroup them, go to ungroup, select this image, go to crop, and this time we're just going to reduce that. Maybe reduce this, escape, once again select this, crop, and I'm just going to reduce this, and we have this, escape. Next, let's group these two and then change the color of the text so I'll be able to see it. So we can just go ahead and change this text to black, and now I'm just going to select that rectangle and delete it, and I have this. I'm just going to move it up a bit. We're going to do the same for this one. Maybe I should delete it first, but you won't be able to see the text, but it's there. Group it and then change the text color to black. Same with this one. I'm going to delete that, select it, group, and change the text color to black. Now let's move this one out of the way and into its final position. So at portfolio, make it a 2-line text, and then hold this. You see this arrow that it's curved around, it means we can now rotate it. Hold shift and then rotate it to this direction, and I'm going to bring it, let's say, around here. Let me reduce the size of the text box, and I'm going to bring it in. Maybe we'll still move it when we're done. I'm going to grab this and move it to the top, maybe even more, like this. This one I'm going to move it so it's aligned with this other one too. Now I'm going to grab this group. It's going to be a bit tight and a bit tricky, but we'll make it just bring this over to this side, and we'll have this. Now just try and center this to these images and move this so that it will be centered with this image. Move this as well so it will be centered to this image, and this is what we have. I think let me just move it a little bit to the right so that I'll get it as centered as possible, and that's it. So like I said before, if you feel like you have an idea for a particular slide and you feel you can do it multiple times, you can create multiple versions of exactly the same slide, just in case your clients may not like it or it may not just work for your project. You can go ahead and do that. But yeah, we're done with this second portfolio slide. So I'm just going to open the slideshow. Yeah, this is it. We're done with this slide. Let's go on to create the next slide. So we'll go to new slide and we'll just create a new slide there. Let's start with the shape. Go to shapes, insert a rectangle, and just kind of draw it around here. So for the fill, set it to no fill. Leave the width of the outline, but we're going to change the color of the outline to our gray color. Let's go to the height. The height is going to be 16.5 and the width is going to be 30.75. Next, let's just center it on our slide. Now let's insert our title for this particular slide, which is going to be Meet the Team. I'm going to copy that, and in this top left corner I'm going to paste it here, and let's change the font to Montserrat semi-bold. Size is going to be 44, and let me leave it here for now. Now we're going to insert some images. So go to insert pictures, stock images. I'll give this a moment to load. Okay, so just to keep the things quick, I'm going to select this image, of this lady, and then I'm just going to search for man, and I'm going to select this image, and let's grab a second image. I want to go for something that kind of goes with the feel of the other two. You know what, let's just pick any random image. Let me just select this one. Insert, I'm going to download those three images. Alright, now that we have our images, we'll now reduce their width to 8.7. So that's what I'm going to do. 8.7 for all three images. Let's grab this image, bring it to the center, bring this one to this side, and bring this one over to this side. Now let's add our text, then we'll figure out the alignment and spacing for this other two. So let me just kind of place this one. Let's see. Yeah, that looks fine. I'm going to grab this text box, create a duplicate, and we're going to change this to aptos body. This one is going to be 18, and we're going to change the alignment to center, and we're going to make it bold. Now just come and copy team member 1 and paste it here. I'm just going to use my arrow key to move this up a bit. Now I'm going to create a duplicate using Control and Shift. I'm going to create a duplicate of this text box. Just going to check the alignment, and the top one is touching the bottom one. And select this, remove the bold, make the size 16. And we're going to grab the content for the team member, and I'm just going to paste it. So we have this. Maybe I could even move it up a bit. Let me select this one too, and just move all three up together. Now I can now align these three, so I can now create groups out of them. Then we'll do our final spacing. So I'll just select this and Control and Shift drag to create another copy here. Control and Shift again, drag, create another copy. No worries if they are not aligned, we'll do that now. So this is team member 2 and this is team member 3. Now you can go ahead, select these 3 and group, select this 3. Now this one, go to arrange, align center to make sure, group. Finally for this one, same thing, go to arrange, align center, and then group. Now let's move this one closer till PowerPoint indicates that the spacing between this side and this side is equal. Now you can select all 3, go to arrange, align, distribute horizontally, and let me see if I like, you know what, okay, this looks good. I'm trying to figure out the spacing. We can just do this is where grouping comes in handy. So you can just group the entire thing, go to arrange, we're going to go to align, and I'm going to align middle, and it's just a little bit, but it just keeps things balanced. So I'm just going to ungroup it because I don't want it in a group. Escape, and yeah, let's see it in the slideshow. We're going to open this, and this is the meet the team slide. Let's now move on to the next slide. So I'm going to create a new slide. Let's start with our title. Go to insert, text box, and I'm going to grab the title. This is why choose us. I'm going to copy that, minimize, and I'm just going to paste that here. Change the font to Montserrat semi-bold. Size is going to be 44. Increase the width of this so it will fit. Now let's insert some icons. Now go to insert, icons. I'm going to start with folder, and select the first one. Next is going to be charts. Going to select this second one. Third is going to be ID. select this. Final one is going to be handshake. Just I'm going to select this. I'm going to go ahead and insert it. Now we're going to change the fill to gray color and change the dimensions to 2.2. I'm going to just move all of them to the top here, and we can start building our content. So let me grab a copy of this text box, and I'm just going to bring it here. So what we're going to do is change this to aptos, and size is going to be 18. We're also going to make it bold, and can go ahead and just reduce the width. Change the alignment to center. Now let's go to our text. I'm going to copy this title and I'm going to paste that here. Let me make this slightly longer. I'm going to use Ctrl and Shift to create another one. Remove the bold and then change the font size to 16. Let's go back to our notepad. I'm going to grab the second chunk of text and we are going to select everything there, then paste. I want the entire text to be on 3 lines, so that's what I'm just going to do. I'm just going to bring this closer but not too close. Select this to arrange, align center. Now we're going to create 4 copies of this. So create one more here, one more, so we can first of all create just have all our cards first before we can move them to their final position. I'm just going to grab this and try my best to align it to the center till I'm comfortable where I want it to be. Let me use this one next. I'm just going to make sure it's aligned. I'm trying to align it with the other icon. To center it, that won't be an issue. We'll center them individually just to make sure. And we have this one finally. And I'm just going to select this one, go to arrange, align center, and then we can group. Do the same for this one, and we're going to align center, and then we'll group. For this two, I want to add an extra detail. I want to add a rectangle outline on this two. So I'm going to go to shapes, rectangle, and I'm just going to draw this rectangle over it. So change the height to 6.85 and the width is going to be 7.75. Just going to go to fill, set it to no fill, and the outline is going to be that gray color. And I'm just going to kind of center it, I guess, just from top and bottom, and then I'll create a copy and put one over this one. Now for this one, we can now select all of this, including the rectangle, go to arrange, align center, group it, do the same for this one, arrange, align center, and then group. Now we have these 4 items. We can now try and position them. So we have this first one. Let's bring this second one closer, bring this third one underneath this one. No, it's this one goes here because we want to have this kind of checker pattern, something similar to what we had in the portfolio. And yeah, so the goal now is to align these two, arrange, align center. Same for these two, arrange, align center. And the spacing for these two, let me just say I'll move it up a bit. Now you can just go ahead and select all 4 and group it. And we have this, we like to call it a card. We could perhaps call it some sort of card. But yeah, we have this card. So this area kind of feels a bit empty. We can just add an image there, and that's what I'm going to do. So once again, go to insert pictures, and we're going to insert a stock image. So let's just search for company. I'm just going to scroll down. I'm just going to select this image and I'll insert it. Now that we've downloaded the image, we can go ahead and change the dimension. So let's just change, let's say the height. Let's change the height to 15, and we're going to reduce the width. So go to crop. We're going to reduce this to somewhere around the 14 mark. So it's 14.04. I wanted to go for 14, but that's fine. I'm going to realign this image so I will have more focus on this. I'm just going to center this image to this other group because it's not on the center. If I try to center it, it will be off. So I'm just going to have that. You know what? Why not just, when in doubt, use align. I'm just going to align it, and yeah, that's it. I know that this one had a bit of moving around and trying to guesstimate where things go, but when you're working with PowerPoint, especially when you want to get creative with slides, I don't want to start creating grid lines. It gets a bit confusing when you start adding grid lines. But I know there's a lot of moving around and placing things here, move this here, but that's just the way it goes. I hope it wasn't too confusing. If it was, just go ahead and watch it again. So I'm just going to open the slideshow view, and yeah, this is the why choosers slide. Let's move on to the final slide, which is the thank you slide. So I'm just going to come here and we'll create a new slide. Go back to the first slide. Let's once again copy this image and we'll go back to the last slide, and we're going to paste that here. Go to picture format, crop, and I'm going to select this handle and move it till it covers the entire slide, and I'm going to select fill, and we'll have this, and I'm just going to go ahead and click escape. Now I'm going to copy this image, move this to the side, go back to our background, picture or texture fill, and then clipboard, and we have this. Now I can delete this image. Now go back to the fill of the background and make the transparency 95. Next, let's insert the text. So insert text box. I'm just going to grab this. This is thank you. You can type it if you want to. Copy that, and I'm just going to paste that here. Now let's change the alignment to center. Font is going to be Montserrat semi bold. The size is going to be 60, and I'm going to increase this. Let's insert a shape. So go to shapes, rectangle. I'm just going to, oops, wrong. I wanted to draw it. Go to shapes, go to rectangle, and just draw a rectangle. Go to outline, set it to no outline, and the fill is going to be that gray color. Height is going to be 4.45, and the width is going to be 27.5. And of course, I always duplicate when I can. Create another copy of this. I'm using Control just in case you didn't know. I'm going to go to Home, change the font to Aptos Body. Size is going to be 18, and color is going to be white. Let's go and grab our text, and I'm just going to copy this text. I'm going to select everything here and then paste. Then I'm going to reduce it till we have our text on 3 lines. And I'm just going to bring this and select this to go to arrange, align center, align middle. Select this one too, just kind of pick a spacing that you're comfortable with. Let's say something like this, just to make sure. I'll select all three, go to arrange, align center again. Yeah, group it, then go back to arrange, align center, align middle, and we are done with this slide. So typically I'll try to add transitions even when there is no need to have a transition. Oh, we didn't see that in the slideshow view. I'm just going to open it, and this is our thank you slide. But this time I won't add a transition. You can just go ahead and add any transition you want. So for the about us section, that's straightforward. I know that this is a corporate presentation, but this structure, you can change it to whatever you want. Maybe you can change this to introduction. If you have a slide that requires some sort of title, then text, you can do that. Let's say you have mission and your mission is more than 3 items, just reduce the width of these rectangles and you have more space. Let's say you have 4 items, you can break this into 2, have 2 here, have 2 here. So even though it's only 2 items, it doesn't mean that if your slide doesn't have 2 items, then you won't use it. You can always modify and change. This is just a template and it's a blank slate for you to work on to create your presentations. But yeah, with that said, we have come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed watching it, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.